Don't need any of that going on in the comments. Oh, hello there. Glad you could join us.
Who are you talking to?
The people who haven't watched yet. They're in the future. We can't see them.
Future people Joe's talking about now.
That's for future people to worry about.
Let me tell you about the future people. Worst conspiracy theory ever.
I mean,
I'll
there
take your word
definitely
on
is
that, I
future
suppose. Yeah.
just saying. They're in the future.
And you can't stop them. Or can you?
I don't know, but it's very, very slow, long process.
Not unless you go back in time.
To the present?
And you have to stop the future people in the past.
This is all starting to make a little too much sense.
That's it. We better change the topic to something more ridiculous.
Hi there, Black Frost.
Well, looky who it is. What up?
Evening.
What are we talking about?
Not much yet. I got to be honest with you. It's just kind of random right now at this moment. So,
yeah.
Cheers to random.
Okay with that.
What y'all carrying?
Paul here should show off a little bit, I think.
I mean.
Ben, 5 days camping. I'm not jealous. I'm not jealous at all. That's all right. I'm doing it next weekend. So yeah, good times. 5 days is a good run though. So
yeah.
This weekend I've been carrying my Benchmade Gold class.
Have you now? You
genuinely have. I did a little bit of a pocket clip swap. Swapped out for just a standard steel one.
Can I full size this?
And actually used the screws from the 940 that I took the clip off of, so as to keep the clip pristine.
Man, there's so many 940s in this group that need better homes. It's unbelievable. It's like my home.
Yeah, because you want my standard beat to shit 940. Why?
Come on, man.
So someone can actually beat it to shit instead of it just sitting around.
It's been used.
It's collecting dust in the broken Omega Springs.
Yeah, I need.
Hey, man. I asked Benchmade for an Omega Spring, and they failed to respond to me.
They've already sent me Omega Springs twice. I feel weird asking a third time.
And Ben was carrying his Gerber Strong Arm. Dutch Bushcraft just did a video of that said knife. Nice. And good and bad. I mean, yeah, but I've played with that exact strong arm that Ben has. And yeah, it's actually pretty decent knife for sure. 9 days in July. That's impressive. You should start a YouTube channel, Ben. If you're going out for 9 days, that's worth documenting, dude.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Can he call it 9 days in July?
Actually,
the channel, not the video.
To be honest, if I came across a channel with that name, or even a movie with 9 days in July, it's like, okay, sure, I'm interested.
All right, let's see. Yeah. What could this possibly be about?
First episode of Rick and Morty. You can do two things, Justin.
I thought that was tomorrow.
You put one eye on Rick and Morty, you put the other eye on us, and you watch both.
And when you're done, you get on the bus and you leave. It's fine.
No. You misunderstand. I might cancel the stream because I was going to go watch it, but I thought it was happening tomorrow.
Okay, there's this thing called It's the Year 2021. You can watch anything, anytime, anywhere you want.
This is true.
So
let me grab my phone here and just set it up off to the side.
Jeez. One eye on, eye off.
Joe, that is not the message. Yeah.
What were you carrying, Joe?
I've been carrying an old favorite, but new iteration. The CRKT Crossbones. The limited frame lock variant. I wish this thing was a liner lock, but aside from that, I actually really dig it. It's everything I wish the original was, and a little bit I wish it wasn't. Um, Footprint's the same. I'm impressed so far. The steel appears to be the correct hardness for M390. So far, it hasn't deformed under a decent amount of use.
Did we look into whether the titanium or the aluminum was actually lighter?
The titanium is heavier. Like, I could feel that it's heavier, but I don't know. Oh, you know what? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is, but I don't know by how much.
I'm just curious. Yeah.
I have a scale. I may as well, while we're getting stuff going.
Ben, if you're 9 days in July, but you're bringing a trailer, don't make that a YouTube channel. I've seen those YouTube channels. They get changed very quickly to someone doing real things. So,
hey, man, I'm cool with both.
Hey, I don't mind the vacation in the mountains. Don't get me wrong. I'm doing it more and more this year, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. But when it comes to some good TV, you know.
So the aluminum is 2.5 ounces. Okay, 2.5. The titanium is 2.9, so very slightly heavier.
I was going to guess it probably was, but I hadn't actually thought about it until you had them side by side like that. And I'm like, yeah, I know you're a nerd with a scale. Get on that stuff.
It's whether I have it here or buried somewhere else, but yes.
But he was right about you.
So, yes. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've got calipers right next to where the scale was sitting, so, Also a slingshot, which I haven't like, fucked around with a slingshot in a really long time. And this is just a little cheapy $10 thing, but I'm looking forward to playing with this later.
Come on,
you know,
man,
you can shoot arrows out of that, right? So, just giving you bad ideas,
You need to get yourself a whisker biscuit, Joe.
That would be fun.
And I was carrying something that was, I don't know, about 6 months in the making here. So when they announced that they were going to come out with dragonflies with S30, I thought it was a great idea for the girlfriend to get one, but I've always eyeballed the green G10 one. And I thought it was extra cool to be able to do a blade swap at the same time. And I finally got my G10 one. So I've got an S30 G10 Dragonfly that I've been rocking, and did that all weekend long while I was at a golf tournament.
Gave his girlfriend the VG10.
She did get the VG10 out of mine, and I got the S30 out of her pink breast cancer one. And yeah, everyone was happy, I think, in the long run. So yeah.
Well, what was she upgrading from? Basically a Gerber paraframe or something?
Yeah, I believe it was a Buck Bantam with pink camo.
Okay.
And because of the 420 high carbon, I probably put a crazy angle on it because it wasn't going to cut much of anything. And if it cut one thing once and went dull, I would probably just resharpen it. So it's sitting at a 15-degree angle, give or take now. But
fair enough.
I bet you the Dragonfly still has way better geometry.
You think?
I guarantee it.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I've been loving this little thing, honestly. I got to rearrange some jewelry boxes. Like I'm telling you, this is
Really?
Oh yeah, for sure. I think the Cali 3 is going home.
Oh,
Dragonfly is taking the place. Yeah,
man. Okay,
so
there were some fans coming out of the woodwork. You were saying, in regards to your Cali, in terms of what they would keep from your collection.
The top 3 episode, the Cali 3 came out a lot. I was super surprised that it did. Yeah.
I mean, in my opinion anyway, it's a super nice knife, especially the variation that you and I have with the XHP and the carbon fiber. But,
and I don't rag on Justin for liking the Dragonfly. I rag on Justin that he doesn't own enough of them.
I was gonna say I just rag on Justin.
Little column.
Topic. Yeah. And I mentioned in passing over the weekend that I was at a golf tournament. Now this ain't no normal golf tournament. If you can see the picture in front of us here, we play 9 holes in a very good friend of mine's backyard. That I have had some very crucial parts in helping design and or make. Being waist deep in sand traps as you're digging them out and making ponds and stuff is part of why summer in Calgary is such a blast. It's a highlight every year for me, is going over to my buddy's backyard and playing golf and just being just fun and acting like kids and having a good time, right? This Saturday we had our first invitational tournament, and I came in third. So yeah, I got the bronze statue. There was a silver statue and a gold statue. Always a bridesmaid, never a bride type of thing. So
Were they all bronze?
no, there was a gold, silver. There was a
no. Sorry, I meant were they all Buddha? I apologize. That's what I meant to
yes,
say.
they were all the Buddhas in varying heights as well as colors.
Fuck you, Joe.
You just about made me cry on camera, dude.
That's not what I meant.
Like, Paul, no, it's too early for this. Yeah.
It was silver bronze and gold bronze and bronze.
And the bronze one. And yes, I got the bronze. Now, other funny thing about the golf tournament is we do have rules that if it bounces off of fences, things like that, ends up behind you, you end up having to wear a skirt. So when John announced that I was third place and his exact words were always a bridesmaid, never a bride, I said, that's because I came for the dresses. And it's true story. I wore the skirt more than once. And no car this year. Lloyd jugged it so quick. Okay, he's got a hole in one and he gives away a model car for the first person who gets a hole in one. Because realistically, everything is within 30 yards of you. And I was about this far away from a hole in one, and like 2 holes later, Lloyd jugged it, not even a single bounce, straight from the pin to the cup, shunk in, done, boom.
Nice.
I was like, damn, son, okay, yeah. And it's the first time the car is a remote control car. So he got one that like has the old school steering wheel for the like and the trigger. Yeah, like he got one of those. Yeah.
So you and your Dragonfly had quite the weekend.
It was a good time. Yeah.
Good shit.
So, but on to knifier things, because that's, I guess, what we are, right? So.
I guess. Yeah.
Knifier things?
Yeah, no. Sometimes we talk about knives. We talk about knife-adjacent things. Sometimes.
Yeah, for sure. But if you look at this course in front of you, you have to admire just like how ridiculous it is. It's
nicely done.
Yeah.
It is indeed nicely done.
Where do we want to start?
I don't know. I got a half a dozen small things.
We could start with Paul's thing, I guess. I only say that because those are the pictures I have open at the moment. But yeah, how do we intro into this?
I don't know what you guys cahoot together on Sundays, and I'm left in the dark sometimes. And now you're like, let's roll out the red carpet for the crap that Dennis doesn't know about yet. Like
you know about these photos. I took these photos in front of you.
Oh, I do know about these photos. Okay, this isn't a Sunday thing. I retract it. I'm just an asshole.
Well, we knew it already, so it's okay. It's okay.
So I don't know exactly what day it was. I'm pretty sure it was this week. It was Tuesday. It must have been, because I came in Wednesday and was talking about it. If you want to put up that first, well, I guess not yet. Cutlery Lover put out a photo or video about a CRKT Bona and the blade kissing the inside of the pins that hold it closed.
Right.
Something that we talked about in the Bona review. But if you want to bring up the picture, he was complaining at one point about the fact that the knife needed to have a stop pin to stop the blade from contacting the pin. And while he's saying that, his thumb, you can see in the bottom left corner, is basically touching the stop pin. It's an internal stop pin.
We're not here necessarily to just talk shit.
No.
But we're here to talk shit a little bit.
A little bit. This actually sparked a whole conversation, which led to some interesting information. So
you really had to zoom in on that. That picture wasn't close enough there, Joe. Jeez. All right. Yep. I'm going to be a little more selective than you guys in how I phrase this towards Cutlery Lover and his video talking about stop pins. But anyway.
Well,
I'm not trying to hate, honestly.
No.
It was funny.
And the first thing I had thought of when Paul and I were talking about this earlier, I'm like, well, what did I think I actually was this knife that I had in my back pocket. the SOCP. This isn't going to turn up well next to my scars.
Can't see that.
No, you're not gonna see much. But there's 2 stop pins in here, basically. That's the crux of it. Is there are 2 stop pins. So maybe he meant like a second redundant pin.
He was talking about where that little gap in the choil is that wasn't sharpened properly from CRKT. Well, it's a sharpening-ish choil because some of them start a little bit later than where the choil actually is. But anyway, yeah, talking about a stop pin on that. But you know the difference between your SOCP and this knife in particular is it's got a flipper.
It does.
So where Cutlery Lover kind of suggested to put that stop pin is probably a pretty inconvenient place as far as deploying the knife with a flipper.
You know, taking the flipper and rotating it, it's that might be something to consider.
I kept that one just to myself on that topic because when you guys said that this week when you were talking to me about it. Yeah. Anyway,
so
Paul.
I came into the shop and I was kind of giggling about the fact that he didn't realize. If you look at the video, you can see the comments. He knows at this point. He's aware that he was touching the stuff.
There's a million nerds like us that are way more vocal and don't have a channel that they can bitch about it on, and they've already done that. Yeah. Anyway.
But the thing that I found very interesting, if you go to the next picture, this knife is obviously from the beginning of the year, the first production of this model.
Looking at the comparison picture for the blades?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Just making sure I'm grabbing the right one here.
Matt's, or Mr. Fisk is in chat there just sipping tea.
Oh, yeah. As you do.
So it's a hard thing to see. You might actually benefit from a little bit of a zoom in on this one. But if you look at
there's no stop pin to call out on this picture. So
there is. Yeah. But where you look where the track goes, where the stop pin would go, on the black bladed Bonafide, which is new stock that just came into the shop, they're not milling that gap quite as long.
Yeah.
You know what's interesting? If you look at the black there's a bit of a lip.
To clarify, we got the first run of the silver D2 ones at the cutting edge, but we did not get the black croup Kephart looking ones until this newest variation, which is a second gen.
Yeah.
So that's where, we kind of figured out that this might be some sort of correction on CRKT's part.
I didn't realize. Oh, yeah, go for it.
I was going to say, just because there's been more than one person that's talked about that exact issue.
We have.
Exactly.
Scored that knife and, very clearly talked about it, smacking the stop pin for that sweet, sweet drop shot action that damages it. Because if you close it normally, it doesn't actually damage it.
CRKT is a company that has a lot of almost, it's,
The guy that traded the knife with Cutlery Lover actually mentions it in the back and forth emails that they're corresponding with, saying that if you shake it shut too hard, you'll damage the blade. But I find it very interesting that they seem to have corrected that issue. I'm hoping, I assume that the second generation of the D2 and silver Bonafides would also have the same correction.
Well, and it's interesting to see, especially in the zoomed in part with the black here right next to my mouse, there's a bit of a lip where it looks like the milling had begun, but then they stopped and then used a new profile. Just kind of coincidental that this happens to have those markings, and I wonder if any other black blades in the store actually have the same milling features. But I hope that this is a continuous thing. I know the tips of the blades, which unfortunately aren't in this photo here, but I know the tips are shaped differently too. The edge actually leads away from the forward part of the blade faster than on the D2 variant. So I think it's a combination of factors that really brings the edge way back.
I also noticed in that close-up picture, Fisk just pointed it out as well, the steel lip around the washer just stops at about 9 o'clock and has a gap where it's not a full...
Yeah.
That's to let the gunk out that gets in because there's a gap there?
Yeah.
It's a relief zone.
I am
right into this internal stop pin area.
Yeah.
No, you know what it probably is? If you go to the third image I sent you, Joe, it's probably to let paint chips out.
Yeah, there is that.
Oh.
Yeah. So
okay, so there's no way that they did that intentionally because CRKT is not thinking that far ahead on paint chip. But
you'll see where they just painted the entire liner, and now the ball bearings are just making their own track. Those paint chips got to go somewhere, I guess.
So,
well, and even on the silver one, they did a finish that's not a natural finish on the inside of the liner, and the bearings are slowly polishing the inside of even the silver liner. But that black gunk is totally going to get all up in your bearing business, right? So, yeah.
In your bearing business.
Something to consider. Yep.
Indeed. Yeah. So there.
So it's a black paint relief Fisk is the ultimate answer. That is why the machining may or may not be subpar from Dav Gear. I mean, CRKT.
We can't go back down that rabbit hole.
Buys a
CRKT.
No,
it's just going to be this reference from
they'll come for us.
So, just on the note of Mr. Fisk saying buys a CRKT is upset that there are issues. Even on the high end, there are some issues. I will say my lock stick has pretty much almost entirely disappeared. But that lock bar is so damn sharp, it's kind of hard to see, but carves up your finger pretty good.
And then the fleshing on the diamond pattern on the frame, like there was some...
There's a little bit of flashing on it, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a touch unfortunate. Yeah. Mine's not that bad, but it's still there.
Mr. Fisk said they may as well drop the T because they have achieved greatness.
Yeah, I don't even know how to respond to that. That's amazing. Oh, that's awful.
Yep.
Well, I mean, they are in the same state, so...
You know, potatoes, tomatoes. it's all
Holy
the
shit,
same.
are you saying CRK's Dav Gear as well?
Say American made.
At least they've never had the audacity to do that.
Oh, can you imagine?
We just went from 11 viewers to 10 viewers. I'm pretty sure Fist is left because of that comment. He's like, I will not sit here with my tea and listen to this bullshit.
Oh, I must not be able to see his comment. What?
Oh, he hasn't said it yet.
Oh
no! We lost all of our viewers. When I was spouting crap.
Yeah, okay. Just speculating. I get it. That's funny. Yeah. So this knife does actually have a stop pin. Apparently, CRKT has made some sort of a fix, which is cool because normally you expect that stuff out of Spyderco, but not CRKT. So.
And I do believe, Paul, that you are going to probably shoot a message over to Cutlery Lover with that picture, or have you decided yet to? Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna share that photo with him. Just
because, he did bring it up and whatever, but the clanging on the stop pin, because he just released that video, he might be interested to know that they're already starting to try to correct that, right? So
that's it.
Yeah. So yeah,
and then I'll never send that message.
Terrible.
Good. I plan to.
So there's that thing.
That's a thing. Yeah, that's definitely a thing.
I'm honestly more shocked that CRKT is taking corrective measures. That's the thing that surprised me the most out of this whole situation.
Quickly, they pulled a Spyderco with her. What do you mean it's not drop shot? Here's a pivot bushing. It's pivot bushings for everyone. Yeah, So.
Yeah.
I don't want to start the rumor, but I bet you if you had one of the un-CQI'd ones, you sent it back, they'd probably fix it for you.
I wonder if they'd send you a new blade or not. Yeah. Or just straight up replacement.
They would just sharpen it down so it didn't hit anymore.
You almost got me.
That's my original comment. You sharpen it twice and it's not going to touch anymore.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it is really
it's sub 60 D2 or croup steel. So either way. Won't take that much to remove that material.
Hey, my
What?
D2 is like, it's around 60-ish. Like, it's hard to tell with hardness files, but it's...
You couldn't even put a period on the end of that sentence. You had to throw an ish in there just to like...
Well, I don't want to say...
The way that the files work, it's an ish.
Yeah, it's pretty
It's
approximate. I would love to spend the money on a proper hardness tester and then go through all my knives and ruin them with little dents on the tangs, but it's just too much money.
And I don't know, Paul, as well, if you looked at any of the ones in our backstock at all.
I didn't.
To see, we should pull that out next week and have that as a part 2 for this whole conversation, because I'm super curious to see if it's a consistent thing or if it's just a one-off that they actually screwed up on this, which fixed the problem. That would be gold. That would be gold.
That would be funny. Yeah, maybe hold off on sending that message to Cutlery Lover, just in case they actually are supposed to keep cutting to the end of that black lip.
Well, and we all know that consistency is CRKT's strong point for sure, right? So
yeah.
Blame Davgear.
Super great build quality on knives using 4116, but
God
help you.
I would blame Davgear, but when I went to the website, it was 404 server not found.
Was it really? That is hilarious.
I don't know. It's probably. They're onto something else by now.
I choose to believe it.
Yeah. So I got a handful of small things. I've got one I shot Joe some pictures of some new stuff that just got announced a little bit late or released a little bit late. But there is a couple notes I have to say. And one of them, I was actually waiting for Fisk to come to join us this evening. Yeah. You can edit that how you want. But one of the reasons is a couple weeks back, we're talking about the PM2 and the releases and the fact that the micarta one was full liners, the Shaman wasn't, wondering how it wears down, maybe if it were to actually deteriorate with the compression lock, and Fisk said everything was fine. Well, that same week Fisk sold his crew Carta Shaman. So I was just curious on if there was a conversation about micarta integrity that maybe prompted the sale.
Even if nothing was wrong, did it make you a little bit nervous? Did it make you...
Well, there was a coincidence that I happened to notice.
He's calling you a puppet, Fisk.
Hey, Paul, it's my job to poke the bear. And I've just kind of prodded it a little bit, and then you took your knife out and just like straight up stabbed it. It was like, okay,
no, pointed them back at you.
You two go, exactly. Yeah,
I sell knives all the time to find new CRKs. Okay,
and you have been showing off some new CRKs.
Yeah.
So yes, I understand completely, my friend, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually a very reasonable answer compared to what it could have been.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I've never been one of those guys that would sell a knife to fund the purchase of another knife, and I wish I were. It would be a lot easier on my bank account at the end of each month, but I like hoarding this shit. I like having examples of weird shit, so it's hard to do.
I'm pretty sure I was a dragon in a previous life.
Sorry, you were what?
A dragon.
Gold coins. It's all about the gold coins. Yeah,
it's got all those sweet pirate coins. Yeah.
I will get rid of even the Cali 3. I was talking about it might take a replace. It's not a collectible. It's a nice knife, but if someone decides that they want a Cali 3 and it's the right price, it'll probably just go into the fund to buy an S4531. Yeah.
That's not a bad answer.
I have a small topic about MagnaCut too, by the way. Speaking of small talk, that actually segued beautifully, Paul. One of my other, I see Justin's comments. We're just gonna flow right over that one. Anyway,
yep.
The MagnaCut thing. So there was the knife at the BladeShow that was crazy MagnaCut, and then it was like Damascus on Damascus or something like that for the handle, and it was going for 4Gs. And Knife Center bought it, and then they turned around and tried to put it on their website for 6Gs.
Hold on, was this the Malibu thing, or which was this? Sorry,
Did Joe just not listen to the first 30
Not
seconds?
one-
No, half of the audio actually came through a little bit muddled. What did you?
Oh, I was saying that this Chris Reeve MagnaCut with the Damascus on Damascus handle that was 4Gs, Knife Center bought and was trying to turn around and sell for 6Gs on their website.
Mm.
Now, the best part about that is there was a bunch of people on Instagram that called it out and called for scalping and blah, blah, blah. And then within, I want to say 3 days, it might have been 2 days, might have been 4 days. I want to say 3 days. The ad was no longer up on Knife Center. It just disappeared completely. So two things happened.
All right.
Someone bought it. Or
Fisk.
Knife Center seriously got called out by a whole bunch of people for scalping and they thought it was unethical and actually took it down.
So
I bet you both things happened. They took it down and they got a direct message
seller
saying, I want it given
ultimately, the problem is the demand for these knives and the fact that there are people with money who are going to pay any price for them. That's what motivates the scalpers to do it. Doesn't mean I like it in any capacity, though. That's always rubbed me the wrong way.
Hey,
I don't want the companies I want to buy my knives from to be the scalpers.
Yeah, exactly. Individual people being scalpers is one thing, but a top 10 retailer...
It sucks.
I feel... yeah. I mean,
some sort of profit is okay, but let me tell you, the markup on high-end stuff compared to the markup on low-end stuff, and I mean, yeah. There's a reason that,
Well, even take a look at what happened with the Grimsmos. They were initially selling their knives for, like 600 American to start, like 3 years ago, 4 years ago, and now $1,300 for an entry level.
Yeah, but I want Grimsmo to make that money. I don't want them to sell it for 6 and then somebody else.
No. I'm just saying, like, that motivated them to raise their prices, and I'm happy to pay. Well, maybe in this moment, I'm not happy to pay that kind of money for a knife like that right now. But I would much rather they get the money, right? That I agree with that 1,000%. Yeah. Especially when it's limited edition shit that's hard to come by, or one-offs, or somewhat customized. Yeah. But $6,000 for MagnaCut and Damascus handles, that's a bit of a pill, hey?
Mr. Fisk sold
4K was... People, like, Fisk and I went off about it 2 weeks ago, about how 4K directly from CRK was a little bit of an insanity price tag, right? Yeah.
Sold his titanium 8020 today.
And it wasn't to me! No!
No, Joe.
It would never get past the border, but I hope it went to a good home.
If we had better editing skills, there would so be a cutout to someone just screaming, no!
Darth Vader just, no!
We don't have those editing skills. Yeah, so.
Nope.
You're going to have to use your imagination, guys.
GPU market. Yeah, no shit. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so and that's the thing. Like, if you were to buy it for 4 and turn it around and sell it for 45, 44, I mean, 5 is pushing it. But I mean, like, take a little something for the top off you, but to throw down like a 50%, I want 2Gs more than what I like. And yeah, I understand percentages and markups. Like, trust me, I understand all of that stuff. Probably way too freaking much, as many of us probably do. But geez, man, that's a tough pill to swallow, right? So
yeah.
And if it's sold, I wonder if someone just offered them a price. Just like you said, direct message them.
Yeah, it was a direct message of 8.
Yeah. And I mean, on that note, watch eBay over the next couple of weeks and find out where there's a MagnaCut Sebenza and how much it's going for, because this is probably not the last chapter in this goddamn story, right? So
yeah,
somebody in that company just went, I'm taking it home. I bought it myself.
It was David C. Anderson.
I don't know if he's enough of a Sebenza fan to do it.
No, he's not. Yeah.
He likes his traditionals and stuff, doesn't he?
And fixed. He likes small fixed blades as well. I'm interested in his new Nesmucky thing made by LT Wright. He's got his own design that's like a Nesmuck.
Oh.
And he got LT Wright to make it. So I am actually intrigued by that. But
that sounds interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I gotta ask, Mr. Fisk in chat if this is the thing that he asked me if we were going to talk about today. That's all I wanted to ask. He can let me know if that was the thing.
Okay. I have one last tag along that's all also with the Blade Show because we're on that segue.
Yeah, sure.
I don't know if everyone knows, but we talked about the banter and the mini banter that just came out from some EV that I actually hate to love type of idea. Well, we'll see if I get it in my hand. But anyway, yeah, it got stolen. The prototype totally got jacked off the table.
Oh, shit.
And the mini banter is MIA.
Oh, shit.
That sucks.
So on the note of keeping your eye on eBay.
So this isn't the first time. Okay, so that's not the first time this sort of shit's happened on
happens like once a
SHOT
year.
Show.
It's insane.
Yeah. There's a whole thread on Blade forums about shit that had been stolen from SHOT Show. And there was one thread in particular that was made of sticky, and it was a whole fuckload of custom knives that just, like, vanished. I'd be shocked if it wasn't if it was any less than, like, 10K in product, but it was just gone. And I was thinking, like, where the fuck do people get rid of this stuff? Like, where do you sell something that well known? Like, you have to sell to somebody in the know, and if they're in the know, then they're going to be aware that this is stolen.
Don't sell it. You keep it for yourself, knowing what it is.
I guess, keep it for 20, 30 years, wait for people to forget, wait for it to appreciate, say you found it in a box in a dumpster or something. Like,
found it in a pawn shop.
Yeah. Just greasy.
Stop giving people ideas.
Greasy shit.
Oh, they caught one of the guys this year. Good for them. Little
sons of really?
Yeah.
Good.
I wonder what he was trying to jack. If you happen to know, I'm super curious on what the person was trying to lift, because there's so many prototypes. It's unbelievable.
Wow. Yeah.
Like, it's just like we have one type of idea, right, to show off.
Yeah.
And that one happens to be a white stretch, and we're advertising it as a K391, and that's the only one we have to show. Okay. Sorry, I'm gonna flog a horse from a month ago.
I'm gonna say that poor horse.
That's just like it's just like dried. What's the word here? It's just a skeleton.
That eye that looked at me funny is still in the same direction, but it's like all gray and glazed over now. Like it's
shriveled like a raisin.
It's taken real long to decompose. Like it should mostly be gone by now.
Yeah. Anyway,
the smell.
That's the only prototype they have. Okay. Work with us here.
How the hell, like, don't you lock your shit up? Like, how do these things keep happening? I wonder.
Stuff, man.
Yeah, people handle stuff all the time, and it's like 100 people going past a table with 3 people to run it, and 4 people to run it, or whatever. I bet you the custom stuff we probably don't hear about it nearly as much, but I bet you a bunch of the custom stuff gets lifted because it's one guy sitting at a table.
Yeah.
And like I hate that that's
a
thing, but especially with the custom boys, because they're not the ones that are working with high production numbers and volume and stuff like that, right? So
that's it.
Oh, that's actually kind of a bit of a more sad story than I was expecting.
And Fisk's message, it was a number of customs. Speaking of,
member of the community who
falling on a hard time.
Yeah, that's not great.
No, it's pretty brutal.
John, thanks for joining us, Mississauga. Yeah, for sure. What are you carrying tonight? What is everyone else that hasn't mentioned it? Because there's been a bunch of people join us. What is everyone carrying?
Yeah.
I don't know what Fisk's comment is, and I'm scared to say it because of legal rights.
I don't want to get sued. Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah. Anyway, that's There's got to be other ways, right? Like it's Next topic, Joe. Have you got stuff? Paul, have you got other things?
I've got other things.
All right.
You got things, Joe?
No, I don't really have much lined up. I figured between the two of you, we'd have enough topics.
Wow, you didn't even ask me. Thanks for presuming those things.
I figured. I figured.
You lazy asshole.
Yeah, no, this week has been nuts for me. So I don't really have any good excuses.
So this is actually a pretty good segue because this was an announcement from BladeShow as well.
Right.
Kind of into a whole topic. One of Marfion's customs was stolen.
Yes, that's the got comment. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So We Knives announced a couple knives, and I'm only going to talk about one of them because that's the one that I really like.
Not during BladeShow because they did some We and Savivi stuff together, right?
Was that not Chacha or BladeShow?
Or BladeShow. Yeah, that's what I meant. Sorry.
It wasn't BladeShow?
I don't know.
Okay.
I thought they had it on display at the table. I seem to remember in the Knife Center video, David was holding it up at one point.
Okay. Yeah. Continue on. Sorry.
Fair enough. You should throw up the picture from.
It's right there. Yeah.
The We Knives Quark.
So I kind of hate how much I like this little thing with its stupid compound grind and M390 blade. And
how much is this ridiculous little bastard?
See, that's the thing.
There's no information on that.
Yeah, like I think even if actually, I haven't checked today. I don't know if we
are we looking at Spyderco dog tag prices?
Probably, and I'm going to pay them because I want it.
No.
Okay, no Quark.
It's adorable. It's one of the few knives you could wear around your neck and not have it look like a knife.
And on the note of Dick Richards, took his Parent Street Bowie, which is a beautiful knife, by the way, to have dinner with his dad and his wife. On that note, happy Father's Day, by the way. We're airing this.
Father's Day.
You bet, guys.
Absolutely.
To all the fathers out there. Yeah.
Mr. Fisk doesn't want to hear about neck knives, apparently.
Have a good one.
And the viewership went down. Yeah.
I hate to break it to you, but that's my topic.
So we were talking about the dead horses and having to flog them. That horse will never die. It's so...
The soul is bound to its own corpse. It's a terrible situation. Unlike this Quark. So, yeah, bringing it back to neck knives.
If you're going to do it, you should do the surge thing. That's the ring with the thing that
No, fuck that noise. I don't want a ring.
It's not a ring. It's it's a neck knife. That's the circle.
That blade is shite. This one's at least straight.
Is that hold on, are you talking about the hawkbill blade that folds out of the coin shape that attaches to a necklace? Okay.
Yes.
A folding knife on a chain. I don't know how I feel about that, but it ain't good.
I gotta take the chain off to use it.
But it's on a disc. It acts like the kiss assist. Or just the kiss, not the assist part. It doesn't spring open. That's stupid.
I was... Hey. I resent that.
Of course you have it on hand.
Dude, I love this thing.
We haven't talked about that knife in literally years. And he's like, what? You mean this?
Right
I love this thing,
He was
man.
talking about it today.
I've been carrying it around the house a lot. That's
so funny. In all of his Oz 4 glory.
Dude, this thing sharpens up using cardboard. Like, it's
made of cardboard.
It's not even stropping. It's literally rubbing away steel with the silica in the cardboard.
It's like Homer's quote about beer. It's the problem and solution to every problem.
Yeah,
it's cardboard. Dulls and sharpens at the same time.
Oh no!
It can't go dull if it's sharpening at the same time.
So what you have to do is every time you cut through, you just have to strop up the side of it really quick.
Well, it's better than CRKT's old attempt at a self-sharpening knife. You remember that one?
Hey, don't mock the edgy, man.
I'm gonna mock it a little bit.
CRKT edgy was a beautiful knife.
About as ill.
What's that, Paul?
I was going to talk about the Wilshire Stay Sharp kitchen knives. and they're carbide sharpeners.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Have you not seen the CRKT Edgy?
Oh, I know the Edgy.
Okay.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
bring it up
Everyone
anyway.
should know the Edgy.
So this is the Edgy. Hold on, was there an Edgy 2? There was an Edgy 2. That's terrible. This knife was popular enough to get a freaking sequel.
Oh
I don't
yeah,
know
because the first one was that blue monstrosity. It's all coming back to me.
No. The second was the blue monstrosity.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought that was a better idea than.
Oh, that's terrible. Oh, that's so awful.
Just to give you an idea, Justin just said the Edgy was amazing. Quiet you. So that gives you an idea as to the quality of knife.
So
It was diamond sharpened with a chisel grind. Genius. It was genius.
On the inside.
So
cutlery lover photo. That totally is. I recognize this. It might not be.
It was a chisel hollow.
it doesn't.
I know he did a review of
say.
this knife.
I don't want to have it necessarily play. Oh, ATF. No, it's not his thumb.
It's not his thumb.
So
this is what we've come to.
yeah. Okay. So I'll always respect CRKT for trying weird shit, and I don't hate this knife. I don't really hate this knife at all, to be perfectly honest. It's just the idea of a self-sharpening knife.
It was that quote from Brooklyn Nine-Nine. It was era appropriate.
Yes.
So
It totally was.
I think we should point out the fact that it wasn't just on closing. You had to actively squeeze it to get the action on the diamonds, right? Like, or did it
no,
sharpen
I
every time you closed it?
think it was just closing it.
I think so. Maybe they changed it with the 2. Maybe with the 2 it required squeezing, but I think the first it was just on close.
For the record,
I
own the one.
I know.
Is
that not in my desk drawer in my garage?
It is very much in Joe's garage and has been for probably close to 5 years. But it's mine.
I'm pretty sure it's still all wrapped up in its own little Ziploc baggie. I don't think that thing's moved.
And okay, so here's the thing though, too, is that was a silly project that we had put on the back burner, but the handle ergos on this stupid little Edgy is phenomenal. The idea with the diamond grind and the blah, 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 but it was very much just like a fixed bladed bushcraft style palm swell blah, blah, blah handle. And I thought to myself, we could figure out some basic geometry and actually put a decent shaped blade on there that's not garbage. Yeah.
That shape of handle is a fantastic thing. And
it reminds me of a Temperance, the Spyderco Temperance handle a lot. Like it's that kind of, yeah.
Yeah, there's some images here. Yeah, very much so. Who was I talking to today? Oh, it was one of the customers today. We were talking about the.
So just for the record, we totally derailed the whole Quark conversation.
Oh, we. Sorry, Paul. I didn't even realize.
I did a couple minutes ago, and I've been kind of chuckling to myself ever since.
I just wanted to bring up the Chinook, the Temperance, that very much like M-shaped handle style. I really dig. I think. Yeah. You can get really great ergos out of that. Okay, but as far as the Quark goes, okay, it's got a compound grind. Why the hell? I mean, aside from just it's cute, but why would you give it a compound grind?
Well, obviously because it has 2 different cutting functions with this much blade.
Okay,
so it kind of reminds me of the what is that thing called? The Mora Eldris. As far as like a tiny little blade that doesn't need a compound grind.
I don't have that one here. It's at my parents' place, I think.
I do have one that I took the compound grind off of, so I'm not going to pull it up.
Well, hey, Paul, you actually had a knife with you today that had a compound grind very much like this.
Yeah, but that's over there.
Oh, well, that's not good to us then.
Yeah. Not everyone carries every knife on them, Joe.
I don't even
including a kiss assist.
Hey, hey. My kiss assist is fantastic. Thank you very much.
I realize it's closer.
There it is.
Okay.
Is there?
It is. It's a compound grind. It's just very. It's subtle. As far as that knife is subtle, right?
you can see
There's
right in there. It's barely a difference.
Yeah.
nothing subtle about that goddamn knife.
That's the point. Yeah, that thing's crazy. Okay, so do you think the Quark is going to stick around long term? Do you think it's going to be something?
And
Well,
get it
that
while I can.
easy answer. Easy answer.
You might get variations. That's the thing.
If I could get a dagger,
They'll make a dagger. Yeah, they'll make a dagger one for sure. If this is popular enough, that'll be the next step. Is it'll look like this little tiny 1-inch blue type of, just because they're playing off of it, and they might make it a Savivi thing because that's become, if it's successful in one world, we'll make a budget version, like type of attitude, right? Like,
I'll have both.
Yeah.
I'll have one with a little we and one with a C.
mm-hmm.
I'm down for it. But I was going to use this image and this new knife and how tiny this little neck knife is to springboard into a conversation about neck knives.
okay.
And how big is too big was the question I wanted to talk about.
My Essie Azula is too big.
You're crazy.
See, the Azula isn't.
Okay, it's too big with the handle. If you took the handle off, we might be having a different conversation.
You're crazy because that's bigger.
Yeah, but you're ridiculous.
So I neck knifed my my Ika
Ika?
Nordic.
Okay, David Canterbury.
Yep.
Okay, this is where I think the minimalist really shines because it is so minimal. It's small, it's thin, it's lightweight.
Black Frost has that exact knife on right now, for the record. And if it
Oh,
had
yeah?
a decent steel, I would own more than one myself. Like, it's,
Same.
yeah.
It's 8CR. It sharpens on cardboard. I don't know what you're talking about.
Why are you pointing out a Puko as a neck knife?
Because I'm probably gonna neck knife this thing
Oh,
too.
you're
No.
you're such an asshole. It's unbelievable.
Okay, what's worse? What's worse? What's worse? Neck knife carrying a Benchmade Puko or just regularly carrying, I don't know, Cold Steel Tiger Claw?
Okay, the Hidden Canyon, because of how flat both the handle and the sheath are, you're pushing your luck, but I'll let you get away with it. The
It's so-
Azula,
No.
the Azula
Wrong.
is a thicker handle. It's more clunky against it. The Hidden Canyon's pushing
And-
luck.
For the record, the Ika Nordic and the Puko, I don't see them as being like an everyday carry neck knife, but I like neck knives. So if I'm going to go out camping and be in the bush, I'm going to carry this around my neck. I'm going to carry a Bowie or a knife on my hip, and
Okay.
then probably have my bear defense.
I'm going to say two things here. One of those things is that my first argument is that it's 2021 and there's this thing called Kydex where you don't have to carry a knife handle up on your neck anymore.
Yeah.
So that alone takes out any sort of neck knife conversation. I don't think it's size. I think it's tip up, tip down conversation. I really do.
And I will agree. I prefer handle down.
So if you came to me and you said, hey, I'm thinking about making a Kydex sheath for a Puko and I want to start carrying it as a neck knife, I would still laugh, but then I'd be like, yeah, you could probably get away with it.
But the thing
Can get away with it. But should you get away with it?
the thing is that carrying it like this, I've found that it's not that bad. It's two-hand draw.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, you might as well be on your belt, though.
Yeah, but if
At
I
that
want to
point.
carry a larger knife on my belt,
Okay, but
why
why
would
would
I have this somewhere else?
you? Okay, I personally don't like the weight of particularly heavy things around my neck. So to me, it's a non-starter.
Do we want to talk about weights? I've got weights and measures. I did my homework.
Compared to what? A minimalist?
Dude, okay, with a minimalist, I'm irritated some of the time by a minimalist around my
Because,
neck all
okay,
day.
so John in Mississauga just mentioned he's got a cricket minimalist, won't do it. Apparently, that's too much of a neck knife.
Yeah, and neck knives aren't for everybody. I'm not
Okay.
saying that everybody should do it. I'm saying I like
Kiefer
them.
saying that the Daleka is the only knife you will ever need, period. Changed my mind, gentlemen. So, I mean, apparently he neck knifes it as a clip, with probably half of a broken plastic clip, because I'm pretty sure that's all
No.
that's left on a
He
Delica.
does it like people do the police with the Kydex clip that
Oh.
clips onto the.
That's the thing that bugs me
Of course.
too.
And it grabs that little plastic ramp thumb stud that they use.
Quick deployment.
Yeah, of course. That's what they
If you
do.
do it fast
You
enough,
can only
you'll
do it
leave
2 or
the
3
blade
times because you'll break that plastic thumb ramp thing.
That's-
Yeah.
Basically, what I was just saying. You do it 2 or 3 times, and you leave the blade behind.
Yeah, exactly.
So-
Exactly.
I did weights and measures from everything from Nigel Smith's Gnome Dashi, little
Okay.
guy, little guy here,
Yeah.
which I have used to great effect fishing. I spent a month fishing with this thing and only that thing around my neck.
Yeah.
It works great.
What else have you got for us? I want to hear weights and numbers here. Come on. Spoke
Okay.
the stats.
So the lightest, I think no.
That you own. Okay, these are neck knives that you personally own, correct?
Yes, they're not all of my
Okay.
neck knives, but they are
Okay.
neck knives that I
Not
own.
neck knives that I find acceptable or Joe finds acceptable, just the neck knives that you find acceptable.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go from there.
There's a few in here that I think you guys can agree with.
We'll see. We'll see.
Let's go. Let's hear some numbers, and then we'll get back
My
to you.
Wee Knives Kukri.
Yes,
Okay.
that's actually
2.6.
2.6. Okay, that's actually a valid weight because it's carbon fiber, an F35, and a decent size. I'll give you the Kukri, even though it's a stupid neck knife.
It's a stupid knife, but I think it belongs around a deck, honestly. Like how? Anyway.
Gnome Dashi.
Yeah.
2.87. Connector. 3.04.
Okay.
Not bad.
So the lightest neck knife you own is 2.6.
2.66. Yeah.
Okay. Continue on.
Well, no. Lightest ones that I measured. I didn't measure. I have a minimalist. I don't carry it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. That's
So-
fine. The knives that are worth carrying in your mind.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just for the briefest context, I just weighed this 2 ounces on the nose with the lanyard.
Mine weighs extra because I got a shark tooth on it because I'm
Ah.
extra like that.
Okay.
It's an extra.
Yep.
All right.
All right, Nesmuck. I'm actually curious about that because I own one of those myself.
3.75. So
All right.
3/4 of an ounce heavier than the connector.
So here's my next question: with sheath or without sheath?
With
Okay, that's
as
the right.
up around my neck with
That's
the
the-
paracord and everything.
That's the right answer.
Hidden Canyon, 4.34. Starting to get a little heavier. A little bit.
Just
A
a
little bit
bit.
heavier.
Apparently, Dick Richards has a feud with the gentleman from SNR about neck knives. He's pro. Apparently, the gentleman from SNR is against. Brought a cold steel spike, which, for the record, I own all of the old gen spikes. They're on a neck. They're on a necklace that I could wear like they're fucking bear teeth or bear claws. Sorry.
I always found them to be too long to wear as a neck knife.
I don't wear
So-
them as a neck knife. I just love the designs. It's
Yeah.
So that's the thing. Dick Richards is talking about the 4-inch blade and it weighing very little. My reason for not carrying it is not the length and not the weight, but how narrow the sheath is. There's a couple knives. I have the CRKT. What is that thing called? The Obak.
Yeah.
I like that knife. I want to carry it, but the
And,
sheath is very narrow.
There is an E on the end of that word that you pronounce. So, because you're
I'm not Japanese.
You're
Obake, Yubake, Ibake.
yeah.
It's okay.
We're all
Hey.
Abake.
We're all a bake.
It's a very narrow sheath, and I find with the narrow sheaths, when you're wearing them, they tend to twist. And I want to be able to grab my knife and pull it and have it be the correct way around every
That's
single
fair.
time.
That's fair.
Because I don't want to end up on the blade, especially on the
Back.
blade.
The best part is we've got some Canadian audience going on, and John in Mississauga also know Sean from SNR, so we're shouting out to SNR. Canadian retailers in general, support them. Even if you're American, you probably get conversion prices. They're probably cheaper across the board. Like, yeah. Even your shipping is Canadian. That's not fair either. But anyway.
So where things start to jump up, the Ika is 6.5, 6.46.
Like, put a freaking Leatherman surge around your neck at that point.
No. Leatherman
Do you
surge
know
is fine.
how heavy a Leatherman surge is? Jesus Christ! No,
Well,
Is it 12? Okay, I
God.
take it back.
that's heavier
It's
than
just
an
a buck one.
Adamas.
It's just a buck 110 instead. So
I don't even think a buck 110 is quite that heavy, is it? Jesus.
so
8, I think.
I've
Anyway.
carried the Ika and it's fine. No neck pain from it.
It's fine.
The
No
Puko.
neck pain.
How heavy was the Ika?
I
by the
haven't
way?
developed any chiropractic issues from carrying my knife.
The Ika was 6.46.
Okay, I just thought of another reference point for an actual neck knife. The Secret Edge from Cold Steel, which I wish desperately was in any other steel than Oz 8, but
I would own one.
I also own that knife as well. What does it weigh?
it is 3.8 ounces.
Okay.
And I've carried it comfortably, so maybe there's a little bit more credits to this idea than I initially thought, but you know.
The Benchmade Puko in compared to the Ika, which I've already carried. I haven't tried the Benchmade Puko yet.
I bet you it's lighter.
No, it's not. It's actually heavier, but only barely. It is 6.53.
And what was the Ika?
6.46.
So you're working with like hundreds of.
Yeah. That's like 0.7. Like 3/4 of a thou. But I do have my limits. I have thought about it and then changed my mind.
Paul.
That's too much.
Are you sure? We'll have this conversation in a year.
A year from now, I'll be carrying my friggin'
Got a chinquita wrapped around his. He's like, I'm Italian. Come on.
Come on.
Yes, exactly.
I just want to have my bear defense close by. I can neck knife this.
Okay, so that's actually a thing I was going to comment on when you were talking about carrying more than one knife. I gave a shout out to just those 90s for danglers or whatever. I will interchange once I get to a campsite. And yes, I will normally wear my larger knife on the hike. I won't have my smaller knife because I do have a pocket knife with me too. So if there's something on the hike that I actually need to cut, I'll probably pull out my pocket knife. But once I get to a camp, the big knife will probably usually go to my shelter setup, and I will actually undo my dangler and put my smaller knife on, and then around the camp, I now have my smaller knife on. If we're going into the woods, if I'm going to do whatever, if I'm going solo by myself away from the camp, I might strap off that dangler and put a new knife on. But that's just my own personal, whatever anyone wants to do, that's fine. But I have found that seems to be pretty effective. And then I'm not worried about what if I want to carry two knives on the same hip and blah, blah, blah that you're trying to work with, right? So
we've talked about being extra.
Mm-hmm.
When I say I want to have a knife on my belt, I'm talking about walking out with this one in regards to what you're talking about.
I understand. I have the same Trailmaster on the hip. Yeah. Gotcha.
When I get to camp, that's going on my belt. And then I'm going to have another one on my neck. And then I'm going to have one in my pocket because I'm extra.
Well, you got to have something to fidget with.
I might even forego a folding knife altogether because I don't need one because I've got options.
That's blasphemy.
That's fair. And I get you where you're coming from on the Vita, but you're going to reevaluate your situation when you've got 9 pounds of knives in your fucking back.
Well, and I'm also thinking about a baldric, something to hang this off of and just like have it at camp and quickly just kind of put over the shoulder. I
did actually rock that for a year or two, but I found it quite uncomfortable on the actual hikes themselves. It was more cumbersome. I ended up carabinering it to a belt loops to have it not swing properly, things like that type of idea. I dabbled with that, and you're more than welcome to dabble with it yourself. And I know guys who have success with it and want to type of idea. But yeah, I did try it, and it wasn't for me, for sure.
I would have to find some way to do it that it was still comfortable on the shoulder and it wasn't just digging in the entire time.
And that was the thing, is trying to find some sort of way to make it work that wasn't digging in. And Yeah, I know one of the bushcrafty guys that I follow quite on a regular basis does like a baldric with a kukri, the Ontario kukri for that matter, and absolutely loves it. And I see him rocking all the time. That's actually where I got the idea from. Tried it out myself and was like, nah, interchangeable dangler is really where it belongs for me, right? So
what did you have going over your shoulder?
I think I had like a paracord brace, but then I did put like a padded shoulder strap, like a laptop bag strapping type of. Yeah, it was that kind of braid, but then I had fed like a laptop strap kind of thing on through it to have that as a pad.
Not enough still.
Me. It just wasn't for me. I'm a bony bastard, and there's like bones up in here that have been broken and protrude probably slightly more than they should. So
yeah, I could see that.
Mine hasn't been broken as often as yours, but I have a similar issue.
As often?
I've only done it once. I'm pretty sure you've done it more than once.
The frequency Dennis breaks
just on both
with.
sides. I just got them both done. Yeah, I had to be symmetrical. Yeah. Gold neck chain matching it. You bet. Yeah, for sure you will.
Hell yeah.
The thicker the chain, the better.
Yeah, the chain's not super thick, but there is gold chains going on.
So, quick question, just while we're kind of adjacent to the subject, do you ever use anything to tie off the bottom of your sheath when you're out on a large knife? Because I've done it.
Because I don't like carrying a large knife other than actually on the hike. And the Trail Master's about as big as I go. I've carried the Atrox, which is a 14-inch knife, and I find that it's, again, that kind of 10 to 10.5-inch blade knife, like a Trail Master's technically 9.5 is kind of the sweet spot. You get over 12 and it becomes a cumbersome thing other than like a day hike and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Multiple days, it just becomes cumbersome.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say, like, I've tried tying off my Recon Scout, which is a 7-inch blade. Yeah, contrast. It isn't? Oh,
Leathernecks a 7.
Okay, I thought they were about. Anyway, I own them both. I should know this better. But either way, I've tied off the bottom end of the scabbard to keep it from slapping my leg all day. Works well with a blade this size. Does not work quite as nicely with a kukri blade.
One of the things, we're kind of going way off topic here, but one of the things I personally do is I actually just I find a spot on my hip where it doesn't, and usually it's like just behind the center of my hip where it doesn't slap. If it's in front of my belt loop, it will slap against my leg. I find if I put it just behind that middle belt loop and put my sheath just behind that, it's still close enough to center on my hip. It doesn't bug me, but then it reduces the slapping effect as well.
Fair enough. Yeah.
So, anyway, Paul?
I was going to say, I've carried this on my hip on day hikes, and I've carried it strapped to a pack on a day hike, and it's definitely better on the pack than it is on your hip. Strapped right there, it fulfills the, I don't know, the nerd in me.
And
makes me feel like
Nigel has the same point that I dealt with, is it swings around too much. It's too annoying. It gets in the way too much on the baldric style thing. And I think we both experienced that, is especially with how much bending over you're doing with bushcrafting down on the ground, whether it's making fire, whether it's wood processing, there's a lot of crouching, there's a lot of kneeling, and all of a sudden when you lean over, everything starts to swing a little bit. Right? So having it on day hikes and stuff like that and taking it off at camp and just having something to put on, that's a little more acceptable for sure. But if you're having it on just 24/7, it becomes
well, no, but that's my thing, is that if I'm gonna take it out there, I'm gonna have the Vidar for all the bushcrafty things, and it's for the hikes and everything else, and I'm like, no, I want this with me.
And Ben, especially with your strong arm, strapping the knife to the backpack strap, that knife would actually be almost perfect for doing that. Yeah,
that's actually what I did with my own leather neck for a couple of years. Actually, was Velcro strapping it to right to my bag. It's perfect like that. Yeah,
the Velcro strapping.
Yeah,
that's actually a really smart idea now that I'm thinking about it.
With the long slats here, work great. Yeah. My dad had some left over, and
The only time I've actually strapped anything to my leg, and it's super, super funny, but it's actually my big Tom Brown tracker. And I didn't even strap it to my leg. It's got the double clips to carry scout carry.
Yeah.
And the second clip clips onto my cargo pocket beautifully. So I actually top clip it to my pocket. No,
Oh.
to my pocket because it's too. And second, clip it to my cargo pocket, and it sits like literally beautifully right on the side of my hip, and it's attached there. It doesn't go anywhere. It's weird as shit, but it works like cowboy style.
That's ridiculous, man. Yeah.
I clipped it there, and then I walked around with it, and I was like, "This should not be this comfortable," but it really is. Like it's.
I will say though, the clip-on, the S-Beaners, awesome. Make carrying a knife so much easier.
And the normal,
be careful doing it with small ones.
Yeah, I was gonna say, well, and the normal S-Beaners are good, but those new ones that I've got that are the bottle opener ones are actually slightly wider, and they will take more of a leather strap, a wider leather strap than just the normal circular ones do. Yeah.
Yeah, you will definitely. Here, can I get this out of the way? Yeah, you'll definitely change the shape of the leather ever so slightly by using the narrower ones.
Yeah, but yes,
and I don't have a bottle opener with me.
Anyway.
Bit of a detour, but still interesting topic. Yeah.
I don't know if we have time for my topic. We're a little over an hour at this point. I've got a couple small topics, so we could save the pictures until next week.
Okay.
One of them is actually I like to find new things, and I found a new thing. And so, Joe, if you go to the website is called Woox, WOOX store.com. I found these guys a while ago because of their axes, and I got a sweet spot for freaking axes. So
you sure do.
I saw them in the catalog, and I was like, oh, those are kind of nice, but they're kind of overpriced. And then just today, actually, I noticed that they make a knife.
Okay.
So if you go to their shop section, and they also make accessories for gun stocks, which is way out there, but kind of cool as well. But if you go to their shop section and go to knives, they make one knife in particular.
Here, it won't let me select properly. All right, there we go. There we go.
That was fun watching you chase that.
Yeah, I didn't like that at all, but that's okay.
Italian made Sleipner steel, made in Italy, Rockwell 62. The knife is literally called the Rock 62 because they
Because naming things is hard.
Dude, that is very unimaginative, but
and I imagine made in Lion Steel's factory. Maniago, Sleipner.
Might be MKM.
The design language. MKM doesn't exist. They're just places that do things for other places.
Are you saying they're Dav Gear?
Everyone is secretly Dav Gear.
Yeah, everyone's a little bit Dav Gear.
That eye twitch is back.
Nice.
So I guess the micarta is the one that's caught your fancy, hey?
Well, yes, but also just so nice looking knife. Weird, like they make some axes, Sleipner steel, decent price, $179. Like it's American. It's probably cheaper than actually buying a real Lion Steel. And it very much looks like it has some of the same design language as some of the Lion Steel fixed blades, for sure.
It's a shame about the sheath.
Yeah.
Yeah, the sheath isn't made by Lion Steel. I can almost guarantee it. But
no, that sheath looks
that's
like
probably
that's looks probably like the sheath came with, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, that's okay. That's probably what's helping keep the cost down on some of those.
Oh, for sure.
Now, one of the others. Go ahead.
Sorry, it looks like the sheath from my Defender.
I had a couple Kershaw sheaths that are right up that alley as well. Just
to give people an idea. I thought that. Yeah.
Even so far as the gold print on it.
Anyway, this sort of thing. Anyway.
So one of the things that I actually chuckled about is if you go to Shop Accessories, yes, they sell gun stocks and the whole 9 yards type of thing, but they also sell the handle grips individually. So you can buy this knife and then get all 3 handle styles for it by buying just the scales. Or if you want to cheat and just have a handle custom scale and make your own blade shape to it, you got blade handle scales just waiting to happen from a Rock 62.
That's clever.
Kind of weird.
What's a set of scales cost?
$69 American.
$69 for the micarta, but $39 for the walnut.
Interesting. And how much for the X grip? Because they did some sort of fancy tactical grip on.
Sold out, which means they don't tell you the cost. They just say sold out. That
right.
I really don't like it when companies do that. I really don't. Okay, but this X grip black is going for $69, so I'd imagine the brown is probably the same cost.
So yeah, just something new that I discovered, and it actually trickled into a rabbit hole of Lion Steel stuff after this because I went to Lion Steel's website. But I think it's a good looking knife. I think for the price, it's not bad for Sleipner steel and micarta made in Italy. Well, yeah, these guys are known for axes, and if you want a $200 axe, they kick ass and take names. But
so while we're here, you should show us some axes, Joe.
Well, and
like axes.
I will say as well, the Sleipner steel, I do have an SR2 that I use, and the closest thing to compare it to is XHP. People call it a D2 as well, but yeah, I think it performs just as much as an XHP performs to D2. Sleipner performs the same.
XHP blows that shit out of the water.
Yeah.
D2 specifically, not Sleipner.
Yeah. Yes, because your SR1 is still D2, right? It's not Sleipner. Yeah.
No.
They got that nice traditional one that I really, have kind of a sweet spot.
What's going on with that handle? Is it just the name of the...
Yeah.
That's the name printed on the back. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the axe head itself is a good looking hatchet. And then the middle-sized one with the collar, like all of them are pretty decent. Anyway.
Sorry, I don't mean to...
No, that's all right. It actually trickled into the Lion Steel, and I found a Lion Steel that I had completely forgot about. And we can probably end the episode with this because we're getting close. But
sure. What's the name of it?
So if you type in the Lion Steel Tie Dust, TIDUST.
I don't like that name.
I forgot about this knife, and it's awesome.
Oh, yeah, this thing.
Joe's reaction tells you all.
Yeah, man. That shit's cool.
Printed one? Yes. Yeah.
Cool. Damn Skippy it is for 1,100 euros. It's knocked down from 1,300 just for the record.
Oh my god! I mean, I'm happy.
And if you ever thought you wanted a ball bearing with a lockback and a thumb disc, is this the knife for you?
It's blue bearings.
It's IKBS, motherfucker. Look at it.
Old school. It's 2015 IKBS.
That's like my original freaking crossbones, where you better be disassembling it on the inside of a Ziploc bag.
So Ben asked, titanium 3D printed. So yes, in essence it is, but I did some digging. It is made using a thing called DMLS, which is direct metal laser sintering.
Yes.
And they are taking titanium powder and basically 3D printing it to make this handle.
So what they do, at least in the machines I'm familiar with, they'll build up layers of deposits, like just full of titanium dust, and at each layer they'll sinter the top surface in place. Then they'll put down a new layer of titanium dust. Then they'll sinter the next layer. So you can get super complex shapes. Like there are car companies, and I wish I knew which ones offhand, but they make engines with such tricky machined bits that like you can't do with like a lathe or a mill. You have to do it either cast or like this. But you get such strong materials out of this technology. Like I'm not totally shocked by the cost, but a big part of that is just utilizing this technology is expensive, like super pricey.
I was gonna say getting a machine is probably crazy pricey just to even think about doing it.
$300K last I checked for an all-in-one. Yeah.
So Lion Steel's description is using selective fusion.
It's about the same, I guess. Yeah.
Fancy way to say it, basically, right? So, made of Sleipner on the blade, IKBS, blah 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 type of thing. Yeah. So the best part is in they have one video that was because it was limited edition. They only made 100 of them. There was one video talking about it, and they talk all about how this is going to be the next game changer in the knife world. because of the weight reduction that is possible with this type of technology. This was in 2015, so you can see it really took off, right? So
Yeah.
They're just everywhere now.
But it reduced the weight so dramatically that this knife is now 5.6 ounces.
From?
I don't know. What's the normal TM1? It's ridiculous.
Let me find out.
Look it up on. Yeah, I'll look it up. I'm there right now. So,
Look.
but you can type it in if you want.
Okay, so the TM1.
But it was based off of the normal TM1.
Okay,
yeah.
so the TM1, you can get it in micarta. You can get it in carbon fiber. Micarta is slightly heavier, but it comes in at 100 grams, 3.53 ounces. So it's actually lighter.
And the carbon fiber is, is that what you said? 3.
3.54 for the micarta. I don't know about the, yeah.
And the weight is 5 ounces on the carbon fiber.
What?
That's what it's saying.
The carbon fiber is heavier? That doesn't make any sense.
It's saying 5 ounces on the carbon fiber. I'm going to click on the micarta one because I don't believe you.
What the hell?
And the micarta weight is 5.11. You're looking at blade length, dude.
What? No, it says total weight, 100 grams, 3.53 ounces. Where the hell are you looking?
What website are you looking at?
Lionsteel.it.
Okay. I also have that up, but I'm also looking at Blade HQ's website that has the micarta handled ones.
Forget about Blade HQ for a second here.
It does say 3.53 ounces on. He's got it highlighted here.
Okay, on Lion Steels.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. The carbon fiber version, it's the same.
Because the weight on the titanium one is also off of Lion Steel that I'm working with the 5 point something something.
Okay. Yeah, it's 3.53 for the total weight. It's 100 grams, regardless of which version you get, carbon fiber or micarta, apparently.
Which means they weighed both and averaged the weights, probably.
More than likely.
That's so funny. Because, Blade HQ is saying 5.11, and then their titanium milled one is 5.05 or 5.64.
I don't know.
But the titanium one that I'm looking at is actually off of Lion Steel's website. If you type in tie dust, that's where I got the weight of that one.
Yeah.
That's where he's been, yeah.
Yeah.
I want a harmonica built into my tie dust. It's got the spaces. Like, you just gotta put them in.
Terrible.
Hey, man. Dangerous music. That's all I'm saying.
And I love the fact that in 2015 you get a 3D printed image of IKBS bearings because it was era appropriate. Nowadays they would just have straight up actual images that are cameras scrolling in a 3D. Yeah.
I was going to ask if you wanted to know how I got these scars. But
No. We all know by now. We've been around long enough. We'll link the videos.
Oh.
Yep.
Oh, did you know by any chance that the TM1 is actually an integral micarta?
That's neat.
I did not know.
I just clicked on the one picture. And it says the king of the solid knife, and it has a block micarta, and it has the milled handle. Yeah. Fancy.
Now I need that.
That's nifty.
It's a weird clip.
You're a weird
clip. Never mind. I was looking at the wrong thing.
You're looking at the backspace.
Oh, you thought it was like the the AM1 from Masarin where it's the slide out. Speaking of, super cool clip. I want one of those.
That is a really cool clip. Joe showed me that. It's neat.
Okay, I would love to see more of this stuff too, Ben, but this knife came out in 2015. So, I mean, the technology has not taken off the way we want it to, and mainly probably because of cost.
It's not cost effective. Believe me, I've looked into it.
I mean, we might be on the 5 to 10 year plan when it comes to this bullshit.
So, it's 100 times more expensive to get going with a machine like this compared to an entry-level CNC machine.
I thought Joe had frozen there for a second.
No, I'm just trying to find a polite way to phrase it. It's just too expensive. Yeah, running machines like that, finding technicians, and then programming, and then material usage is a huge part of this.
Who knows how that changes in 10 to 15 years?
Well, and there's companies who are still making things like this out of like 3D machined materials where there's not. Well, it's too dark for much contrast, but you get my point. 3D machining is still so readily available and so cost effective by comparison that another 10 years at least before we see this entering mainstream in any real capacity.
I'm cool with that, but I want one.
Yeah,
it becomes effective.
Yeah, absolutely.
I really like the tie dust looking blah 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 type of thing. I think that's super cool design, but I'm not paying 1,100 euros.
Yeah, that's
No, shut your face about the flipper. You'd have to take out that or that stop pin that was in the way.
It's in the way. Get it out of the way.
Full circle.
You don't need to stop.
Full circle. That horse, it wasn't dead yet. It wasn't. It was still this week. It hasn't had time to rot.
Still kicking.
Yes. Very much alive in the background back there.
You can hear the flies buzzing.
I love the fact, and full circle, by the way, love the fact that like you didn't clue into when he was talking about putting a stop pin there that you can't open a flipper with like a stop pin there.
No, I was so caught up in what are you talking about? The stop pin is right there.
It's kind of awesome. It's kind of awesome. Anyway.
I don't think I even watched the whole video. I got so bad. I think I turned it off.
Like, it's right there.
Oh,
I'm part of the problem.
I didn't realize you just like close the tab. Like I'm out.
Okay. To be fair, I think I went back and watched the whole thing the following day because I wanted to talk about it. I wanted to know all the information.
But you had to take a break first. You're like,
I
fuck
needed
this.
to step away from it. But I'm also not the asshole on YouTube that's throwing comments being that guy either. Well, I'll just quietly hate you.
You kind of are now, though. It's not as much as Joe. Joe had a couple unnecessary zoom ins to get the point across.
I don't have any control over that. It's not me.
I was just trying to have fun. We have fun here, okay?
We have fun. We can be more than one thing.
So for the record, I'm just going to be like, yeah, in our video that we talked about this week, I'm not going to link him the video.
No, it's probably for the best.
Either way, it doesn't matter. Yeah. It is what it is. Like you
Look,
said, many people have pointed it out. Our biggest thing was that CRKT may or may not trying to be changed to that, right? Like we'll find out.
That was the bigger thing. I was using it as a starting point.
Even as far as Cutlery Lover, as far as Jeff goes, like I'm fairly technically proficient with certain processes that I deal with on a regular basis. I'll still fuck shit up when I'm describing it to other people. Like I'm like, oh wait, no, that wasn't correct. I meant this, or I'll realize after the conversation had happened. So, I mean, not the end of the world.
Like you were saying earlier too, it might have been that he wanted to say they needed to put a second pin somewhere, and just forgot to say that part. And because once you put the video online, you've said that thing. Too bad. You've said it.
Yeah, pretty much.
You get me coming at you a week later.
Yeah. That's what you get.
Yeah.
On that note, I think we should wrap this bad boy up.
I think so. We've beat this horse enough. The poor thing needs to be laid to rest.
Oh no, not until next week. I'll string it up like a marionette.
That's terrifying. Is that a new Dark Souls boss?
Just beat it one more time.
Just this horse?
I think I saw it moo.
That's scary shit, man.
Or moo? Why did the horse moo?
I don't know about mooing, but there's been a trend I've seen over the last couple of years of horses with like Photoshop dog mouths, and they look horrifying. It's like, that's nightmare fuel. That is amazing. I hate it.
Yeah, horses that mouth open all the way. You don't want that.
That's some good knife talk right there, boys. Some good knife talk.
Well, it's directly related to 3D sintering and titanium.
Close out on a strong point there. Yeah, for sure.
Well, you know.
I was going to mention that Justin wanted to get some vortex generators to reduce drag on his stupid minivan, and I was like, no, we're just going to print you a frame that looks like this knife that's up here right now,
The
right?
air just goes right through.
Exactly.
Oh, I can't tell you how much I hate that.
I'm going to love it in the wintertime. Turn the heaters on. It's cold in here.
Yeah, no shit, hey.
You just get wet from all the snow melting through on you.
Don't be behind one of the gravel trucks.
On that note, follow us on Instagram.
That too. We want to thank the Cutting Edge. We all work there, but at the same time, they let us play with knives like the new Bonafide and check out the internals and in our off time and investigate stuff like this. So we have topics to talk about on Sundays. So
Dude, let us take pictures, man.
Those pictures.
Yeah, it's a true story. Follow us on Instagram, also on Patreon. We also want to thank everyone who is participating. I know we're just doing the weekly content right now. We're trying to get some more other content out. ETA is a giant question mark on that, but I hope you guys are having fun with these because we enjoy them for sure. So
I'm having fun here.
Talking trends, talking stuff that happened 5 years ago. It's all cool.
That's right. The next big thing. We're waiting.
We'll come back to this video at a later point when it becomes a thing.
Absolutely, we will.
On that note, I guess I am who I am. I'm Dennis Vipers.
I am the Iron Joe.
And I'm exile.ca.
Thanks for joining us again, guys. Take care.
Yeah, thanks for coming, guys. Happy Father's Day.
Yes, happy Father's Day.
Oh, my beer's gone.
Oh, no.